Hello, my name is Renee Fowler. I'm a master's student at Maharishi International University, and we are concluding our class on the foundations of Maharishi Ayurveda. And so today we'll be talking about the journey to knowing herbs deeper through the Vipaka, Virya, and Prabhava. There are three types of Vipaka: the sweet, sour, and pungent. What does sweet Vipaka mean? Does it mean a sweet taste? So to explain that, the taste occurs in two locations, on the tongue and within the pitta area of the stomach, actually probably a little lower than that. It's within, the whole digestive area. So when we talk about the sweet vipaka, we're not talking about the sweetness on the tongue. We're talking about the sweetness within the belly, so to speak. And so it would be a comforting, satisfying, a feel-good, enlivening type of tonic. When we talk that sweet, we're talking more of the emotional sweetness more than the actual taste sweetness that we experience on our tongues. So what effects do sweet vipaka, sour vipaka, and pungent vipaka create in the dhatus? So since there are those three, let's talk about all three of them. Since there are 7 dhatus, which this image, courtesy of California College of Ayurveda, put together, it shows, the plasma, which is the rasa, the blood, rakta, the muscle, mamsa, the adipose tissue or the fat tissue, the meta, the bone and cartilage, the asthi, the nerves, which is the maja, and the reproductive system, the shukra. The sweet vipaka, sour or pungent they create on the dhatus, I'd kind of generalize that as the Goldilocks effect. Because each dhatu has its own agni, it causes the formation of each of the dhatus. So, for instance, if we looked at it's too heating, then the result would be drying. Or if it's too cooling, there could be more byproducts. So what you're really looking for is the just right narrative situation there, such as the Goldilocks effect. Effects do sweet vipaka, sour vipaka, and pungent vipaka create on the dhatus? Well, here I've laid out the dhatus for us, and the sweet nourishes and increases ojas to improve longevity and strength. So it actually is nourishing to all of the dhatus, where the sour has no effect on the sukra dhatu. What should be noted here with the sour, the amla, is that it's digestive and it holds heat. So it does that for the lymph, it does that in the blood, in the muscle, in the fat, in the bone, and in the nerves. So it does have effect on those 6 dhatus, but no effect on the sukra. And the pungent one primarily works with the rakta and the sukra. It should be noted that the pungent on the rakta acts as a vasodilator, so it helps thin the blood, removes excess congestion and toxins. So it does have quite a stimulating effect on the blood. And for the sukra, it enlivens that. So you could consider that perhaps an aphrodisiac. Virya. Virya is temperature of food. So in terms of spiciness, an example would be hot, which is pepper, which is generally sour, pungent, and salty, or heating. Cold would be something like milk, where generally astringent, bitter, and sweet are cooling. And receive that information from lovejivana.com. So the actions of each vira, there's 2 principal viras with 8 in total. And the Shita and the Ushna are the 2 primary ones, where the cold and the hot. The others are very similar to the gunas, such as Snigdha, Ruksha, Guru, Lagu, Murdu, and Tikshna. So the final thing we wanted to discuss was the Prabhava. And these are, we'll use an example of milk and ghee to illustrate the principles of this. So Prabhava is a property or special power. And looking at the chemical makeup of milk and ghee, we'll look here. So the National Institutes on Health state that milk is made up of water, fats, protein, carbs, minerals, organic acids, enzymes, and vitamins. And ghee is made up of essentially the same things, but it removes the water and the lactose. So you're working with the same things. But you'll notice that the heat breaks these down a little bit through the cooking process of the ghee and changes some of those fatty acids into um, components that are easy to penetrate the tissues, whereas those fats in milk that are saturated do not penetrate the tissues. So those are the two main, um, that's the example. So Pravana is a special power, and I would say ghee has a more special power than milk, even though they're essentially from the same origin, from cow's milk. So through looking back at all of these, we looked at the Vipakas, the Virajas, and the Prabhavas. And all of these together create the karmic effect of the herbs. And the karma is the action to help us get to where we're going.